Hello you guys, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Sabrina, aka Marie J. If you're an OG here, thank you for returning back for another video. Today I am giving you guys a whole roundup of all of my 2021 favorites. I wasn't sure if I was going to film this video or not because I was like, I feel like most of us are ready to move on into 2022, but a part of me was like, no, you cannot film 2022 content until you film your roundup. So I asked you guys on my Instagram if you guys still wanted to see it or if it was too late. Most of you guys were like, no girl, we want to see it, film it and post it. So here I am filming it for you guys. It's pretty much going to be every product that I really enjoyed throughout the year of 2021. And I have mostly makeup and a few fragrances, so it's going to be mostly like beauty in that aspect. I'm not doing so much like hair and skincare and all of that, but I definitely wanted to share at least my makeup favorites. Now for 2021, I feel like most of us, a lot of us didn't really do like full face beats for the most part. We kept it very simple, minimal, classic, and that's just due to the circumstances. Of course, not many of us are going places and things like that, so a lot of these are just great staples for creating like a really perfect base, getting a glowy complexion, bronzy look, simple, quick, easy, but flawless and pretty. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you are not already following me on my Instagram, make sure to follow me there, subscribe to my channel, all of that good stuff. Without further ado, let's get into it. I'm gonna try my best here to go in order of application. So first things first is the Charlotte Tilbury. By the way, there's a lot of Charlotte Tilbury in this video because her products were definitely a hit for me this past year. This is the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Looks just like this, and hands down one of my favorite products right now and in 2021. I got the travel size to try it, and you can see I still have quite a bit, and I used this all throughout last year. Like obviously not every day, but like here and there I would use it, and I feel like the setting slash prep spray is never ending. I feel like I spray so much of it and I still have quite a bit. So if you kind of want to try it first and you want to get like little travel size, it's gonna last you for a while, but it just sets your makeup so well. And you can also use it to prep your skin beforehand if you want to just get a little bit more of a wet, luminous feel before applying your foundation, and then afterwards to make your makeup last all day as well. I feel like it just helps to really lock things down so that you can use as step one to like prep your skin, or you can use it like after foundation and things like that, just depending on how you want to use it. So from there we'll do foundations, and I will first start off with a CC cream. I have never ever since wearing makeup been a CC cream kind of girl, ever. But the only one that I have fallen in love with and that I've been able to use consistently is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus Full Coverage Cream. I wouldn't even consider this a CC cream just based on the coverage. The coverage is so good. This is a full coverage product here, but the formula feels so lightweight. I can see why they consider it a CC cream because it feels super light and kind of like a whipped, kind of buttery formula on your skin. It's very lightweight. You cannot feel it on, but it covers everything. I have acne prone skin, I have some scarring on my cheeks, and it covers it all. They do have a matte version of this one too, which works just as well. Honestly, I kind of switch between this one and the matte one, and I like both, to be honest, just depending on the type of finish that I want. But either way, even though I do have oily skin, this right here, just 10 out of 10 recommend. I use the shade Neutral Tan, and I find that it's a pretty good shade. The only thing I will say is that usually with CC creams, there's like a limited amount of shades. So I do wish there was a shade like right between this one and the one that's a little lighter, just because this one sometimes can come up a little bit deeper on my skin tone. But I find that this is the one that matches me the best. So if you're looking for a lightweight, breathable, yet full coverage foundation that's gonna look amazing on your skin, try this. Did I say foundation? I meant CC cream. Try this out. It's pretty much like a foundation. And then from there, I have some actual foundations that are a little bit more lightweight also, but give really nice coverage. That's kind of been my vibe for this past year, is using products that are nice coverage but feel really light and that are just easy to put on. So my tried and true, I cannot go without mentioning this one. This is the Mcgrath, the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection foundation. I have shade light medium 14, and this is hands down another holy grail favorite of mine. It just goes on so well. I never thought I would like a foundation like this. When I first tried this foundation out, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of tricky for me. I wasn't sure if I liked it because of how runny and liquidy the formula is. But once you get the hang of it, and once you find the right brush and the right products to use for it, it is so good. I personally recommend applying this one with a brush instead of a sponge, because a sponge really shears it out and it's already very runny. So I personally like the Morphe M439 or something like that. That's like a buffer foundation brush that's nice, thick, and dense. So good. I do usually do about 2 layers of this because it can be kind of thin, but it is everything. Very skin-like, very pretty. And on top of that, the match for my skin tone is perfect. Whenever I cannot find a foundation match, I always swatch this one on my hand. When I'm in Sephora, I'll go to the Mcgrath section, put a little bit on my hand, and then I'll go to whatever foundation I'm trying to buy and go based off of this one, because this one matches me perfectly. So that is always a plus. And for me, I find that finding a good shade in foundation is kind of hard. Another perfect match for me right now, it's a little bit deeper for me, but it is what I'm wearing on my skin mixed with another one today. It is the Fenty Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint. So this kind of goes hand in hand with this one, except the formula of this one's a little thinner than this one. But again, well, I wouldn't say that they're similar because this one has more coverage, but just the lightweight feeling is what is very similar. This, you cannot feel it on your skin whatsoever. It blends really nicely. But this one I would say is similar to the Mcgrath in the sense that you do have to build it up. At least for me, I do. I usually do about 2 layers of this one too. But once I get the coverage down, it looks incredible on the skin. It's also a perfect everyday foundation in my opinion. I use the shade 10, and this one was one that I kind of just put in my drawer for most of 2021. I just kind of had it there. And then out of nowhere, I was like, I want to try something that I haven't reached for in a while. And I tried this one again, and I was like on repeat with it. For more coverage, you can tell I'm definitely a foundation girl over here. For more coverage, I usually go for one of these two. This is my quick, I'm in a rush, I need coverage, I need something that's gonna do what it needs to do and I don't have to think about it. This is that for me. This is the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Foundation Stick in warm beige. This has been my shade for ever since this foundation came out. I've always used this shade. I think I used shade beige once, and that one works too. It's a little bit lighter, but warm beige has been my go-to shade ever since the launch of this. This is one again that I feel like I'm never gonna stop mentioning it, because it's just one that I take with me everywhere. If I'm traveling, if I need a 5-minute makeup look, if I need full coverage for an event or for a party or for something, it's so versatile. I also have it in a deeper shade for cream bronzing, and it works just as well. If you have not tried this, it is pricey. I think it's like 45 to 50 bucks for this foundation, but it is so worth it. I've repurchased it over and over, and I never don't have this. Does that make sense? I always have this in my drawer. Okay, that's what I meant to say. For a full coverage foundation that I am obsessed with, this is the one that I use today in combination with my Fenty one. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation in the shade 7 Warm. I've talked about this before, and I'm gonna say it again. This will cover everything. The thing about Charlotte Tilbury's products is I feel like they just do what They do what they're supposed to do. If it says it's full coverage, it's full coverage. If it says it's lightweight and dewy, that's exactly what it is. Her products are just so spot on in my opinion. So this one right here, again, just like it says, it gives you an airbrush flawless finish. It gives you full coverage, yet if you do like something a little bit more lightweight, you can do like half a pump or 1 pump of this and you'll be good to go. And it took me a while to try it out, but I'm so glad that I finally did, because now it is a staple for whenever I do need a little extra loving on my face. Moving right along, let's talk concealers. I have 3 here. We'll talk about this one because it's another one that will cover all of your problems, just like the Charlotte Tilbury foundation. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills concealer. This is the Magic Touch concealer in shade 8. She's thick. She is thick, okay? She's going to cover everything. She's got your back. I'm not even kidding you. A little bit goes a long way. I do typically like to use this on the days where I want full glam, full coverage. I did put some today just because I wanted to cover a little bit more because your girl is tired. But even for a regular day-to-day, if you'd like more coverage, or even if you want something that will really brighten up your under eyes, you can get a lighter shade. And this is one of those concealers that I feel like wherever you put it, it's just gonna stay there. That one is really good as far as intense coverage. And then we have some, this one's like a medium coverage. This is the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer, and this is exactly that. You can use this for multiple things, for cream contour, for under eye concealer, for brightening. I've even used this as a foundation, and all those different ways it has such a beautiful finish. I would say it's more of a medium to full coverage, just depending on the skin. Obviously for me, I would say it's definitely more of like a full coverage. I have the shade Natural Beige, and I have a few shades in this foundation, I mean this concealer, because I do use it as foundation and as cream contour and all of that. And this is my favorite concealer as of right now to use to clean up my eyebrows. So it really is a very universal product right here. If you are traveling and you're trying to keep it super minimal and you want an all-in-one product, this. And then a lighter coverage one that I like to use for the days where I want my skin to just look really pretty and feel very lightweight. It's the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Long Wear Concealer. This is one that I also have in a few different shades, and I like to use this mainly for concealing only. I don't really use this as an all over face application, but it just, the finish is super skin like. I want to say this is a concealer version of like the Pat McGrath and the Fenty skin tint. Like it literally looks like skin. This is really good again for under eyes, for brightening, and for concealing without doing too much. Next up we have some powders, and these, I only have 3 here, but these have been on rotation for me. So first and foremost, a good setting powder for all over the face has been the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish in the shade 2 Medium. Now this looks very light for my complexion, but I promise you it ends up going on pretty nicely. Now I will say I wish there was a shade between 2 and 3 for this one, because 3 gives me a little bit of a deeper, like it definitely adjusts this shade of my foundation, I'm not gonna lie. And 2, sometimes I'm like, I need a little more, but this is the closest match for my complexion. And I just like that it gives my skin a really nice blurred effect, a very matte finish without making my foundation look cakey. With a lot of pressed powders, it can kind of be tricky because sometimes if you put it over top, it adds a lot of coverage and it's doing like what you don't want it to do. This is not that. This kind of gives me Sephora collection micro smooth vibes a little bit. I actually don't have that one in here because I didn't use it a whole lot this past year, but kind of like that. It's very lightweight, but it's going to give you the coverage and it's going to give you the beautiful finish. You don't even feel it on. It's, I don't know, it's just a really nice everyday powder for setting all over the face if you want an overall more powdered look. And then another one that I recently, like end of 2021, discovered is the Makeup Forever, I don't even know the name because it's not on the back, but it's this powder here. I believe I have it in the shade Y375. It's behind the powder, so I can't even tell you, but I think it's Y375. And it's just such a good powder. Now this is going to add a little bit of coverage. This, you can probably even use it on its own as a powder foundation. I think that's what it actually is a powder foundation. But I like to use it over top when I want a little bit of extra coverage, or if I want, again, more of that powdered finish, I will go over top with this. And it is incredible. I can't even describe how it feels. It's like a buttery powder that gives you just amazing coverage. Now, because of the fact that it does give you coverage, you do want to make sure that you have like your perfect foundation shade in it, because, or your perfect powder shade in it, because it can kind of alter the look of your foundation if it's a little bit deeper. But either way, this is a really good powder to use on its own, or if you want additional coverage on top of your foundation. Now, if you don't want coverage whatsoever and you just want to set your face, I don't have it in here because I feel like I mention it in every video. I'm just going to say it though. The Laura Mercier translucent powder, that's another one, kind of like the Hourglass foundation here, that's just, it's always going to be in every video, so I just have to mention it. It is the best, and I just use a translucent one because I find that that one looks best on my skin tone. So there's that one. But another one that's a good drugstore one, I just realized I don't even have a whole lot of drugstore in here. It just hasn't been doing it for me a whole lot lately. But a good drugstore one is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. I use the shade 10 Fair Light. This is a matte translucent powder. When I tell you it's matte, I mean it is matte. It is not going to separate your makeup. Your makeup is going to stay in place with this right here. So if you have dry skin, I don't know if I would recommend it, but if you do have oily skin like I do, try it. And I have tried the shade, I think it's 15, the one that's a little deeper than this, but I just find that the Fair Light 10 is the perfect one for my complexion, especially for under eyes and just kind of like all over. So sometimes I'll use this to bake, sometimes I'll use it to lightly dust my face, and my makeup will usually last me pretty much all day long. And then moving on to bronzers, which are another one of my favorites. I need to get more into different types of bronzers, especially drugstore ones, because I feel like I'm kind of low in stock when it comes to new bronzers, and I used to always try different bronzers. But I have this one from Makeup Forever. This is the Ultra HD foundation, but I use it in shade Y505 as a cream bronzer. And this formula is creamy. It actually gives you a little bit of coverage too. The finish is very skin-like. You can see a theme here. For 2021, I was I've always been into very skin-like products, but especially within this past year, just everything skin, give it to me. So this right here, because it's a foundation, it is going to give a little bit of coverage. A little bit goes a long way. I literally just tap it wherever I want very lightly, buff it out, and it is just so nice on the skin. And then for powder bronzers, I have two right here. This is the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker in Island Ting, and this is the one I'm wearing on my face today. It's more of a, it's still warm, but it's a little more neutral than most of the bronzers that I have. And I like this one because I can go in with quite a bit, and it doesn't make me look chalky, or doesn't make me look like I'm doing too much when it comes to my bronzer. And then I have the Charlotte Tilbury one. This is in the shade 3. And with this one, I do have to be a little bit more light-handed because a little bit goes a long way. It's a little bit warmer, but the shade 2 is a little bit too light for my complexion. So with this one, I just lightly dust my brush and then I'll just put it on real quick. So those have been the ones that I've had kind of on repeat. And then I don't have many highlighters, or actually I'll do blush next. So for blush, I have 3 different kinds. The one I'm wearing on my skin right now is the Pat McGrath blush in Desert Orchid. And it is a neutral kind of neutral peachy tone. I will say that this one is not a matte blush. This is going to add a slight sheen to your cheeks. You can kind of see my cheeks don't look matte whatsoever. I don't have any highlight on my cheeks right now. I just have blush and bronzer. This is the blush I use, and it is gonna give you like a very subtle glow. So if you like something that looks a little bit more skin-like and it looks like you're just naturally blushing, you will probably like this. And if you like more matte blushes, I have the MAC Cosmetics Sheer Tone Blush in Peaches. Because this is a sheer tone blush, you can go in with quite a bit and build it up if you want to, but this one right here was a summer staple for me. I feel like I use this a lot in the summertime because it's just a really nice peachy color. Let me give you a close-up actually so you can see the difference between these two right here. So this one is more peachy and pink, and this one's more of a neutral kind of corally skin tone color. And then if you want something that has multiple blushes in one because you like options, or maybe you like mixing them, I always recommend the Anastasia blush trios, but the one that I really used a lot this past fall was the Berry Adore or Adore. It's I mainly mixed Velvet and Desert, but it's this trio right here. So I mainly dipped into this one and this one. I would mix them together. This one's more of like a cranberry, this is a little bit more of a peachy tone, and I would just go, you know, dip into both, apply it to my cheeks, and this is definitely more of a matte finish. Now the more cranberry one has a subtle shimmer look to it, but I promise you it goes on the skin like pretty much matte. So this one is really good. They also have a peach one that I think I mentioned last year or in a different favorites video. It's really good too, but Berry Adore is the one that I used a ton. And then like I was saying, for highlights, I don't really have a lot of powder highlights that I was super into. I was mostly into blush this past year as well as liquid highlighters, and the liquid highlight that I have is the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand. I picked this up on a whim. I wasn't really into liquid highlights before. This isn't even more like a liquid. Sorry, there's somebody in a motorcycle passing, but I wouldn't even say this is liquid. I would say this is more of like a cream. You pretty much pull the cap off, you squeeze it, and then right here on the doe foot applicator, it comes right out. And typically what I do is I just kind of squeeze a little bit into the wand, and I'll put it on my finger, and then I'll just put it on my Cupid's bow, or I'll put some here, sometimes on the nose or up here, just depends. But this one right here is going to give you a natural glowy look. If you want to look like you're just naturally glowing and like your skin is just flourishing, even with no makeup or very minimal makeup on, this right here is so good because of the fact that it's more of a creamy liquidy formula. It's gonna more so melt into the skin, which is why I really like it. And the shade that I have is Goldgasm, right? Yeah, Glowgasm in the shade Goldgasm. So there's that. We're almost to the end here. So I have a mascara, and then I'll do lips and some perfumes. So the mascara I'm wearing on my eyes today, it's very, kind of gives me like subtle flirty lash extension look, and it is the Rare Beauty mascara. It's just in black, looks just like this, and I really like this because of the fact that it adds nice volume, but it also kind of separates the lashes. The wand on this one kind of reminds me a little bit of the Too Faced Better Than Sex, which that one right there was a staple holy grail favorite of mine for a while. So on the days where I like, you know, right now I don't have any eyelash extensions, I will do something like this just to create a little bit of a flirty, separated, very simple lash look. And honestly, this has probably been one of the only newer mascaras that I've really been into. It's simple, does a trick, it's not clumpy, not dried out, and the wand is honestly my favorite thing about this. Let me give you guys a little closer look there. It's like a bushy, very full wand. So I love that. Now let's do some lip products. So you're gonna see a pattern here because all of these shades right here look super similar, but I didn't really dip into deep colors or reds or anything like that. This past year I kept it very neutral. So I will start with the color I'm wearing on my lips right now. My skin looks like it needs a little touch up, but the color I'm wearing right now, it looks like on my lips but better, like type of lip color, if you know what I mean. So I went in with 2 different lip liners today, and these are the 2 that I've had on rotation, and I pretty much haven't really dipped too much into any other lip liners aside from these. So I have MAC lip pencil in Cork, and I have MAC lip pencil in Strip Down. So I first went in with Strip Down all the way around, and then I kind of shaded in a little bit in the corners. And then to really accentuate like the lip lines, I went over top with Cork because Cork is a little bit deeper. But these 2 right here, if I'm ever going anywhere out of town or if I'm doing my makeup somewhere else, these are the 2 that are gonna be in my bag always. And I've repurchased these over and over again. And then for my lip color on top, to keep it very soft and look very natural and more like my lips, I'm wearing the NYX Cosmetics Soft Matte Lip Cream in London. The formula of this is a very whipped, lightweight formula. I don't even feel like I have anything on my lips, and it just looks very natural on the lips. It just evens out my lip color, and I personally love it. The shade is like the most perfect nude. I'm gonna swatch some of these just so you can see how they look on my complexion. I used to have Abu Dhabi, and that used to be my go-to, but this one here, it looks a little more coral right here, but I promise you when it goes on the lips, it's just like perfect, especially in combination with these lip pencils. And I would say that right there is probably one of the most comfortable formulas of liquid lipsticks that I have because it is a soft matte. And then another one from NYX Cosmetics that I kind of had on repeat. If I don't use one of these, this is technically like an all over lip color, but I will use this as a lip liner. So this is the NYX Cosmetics Lingerie Push-Up lipstick in the shade Teddy, and the formula of this is very creamy. It glides on your lips so perfectly. It's very buttery as well, and then once it dries down, it locks into place. So it does come with a sharpener too in case you want to use it to line your lips, but it's this shade right here. It's a little warmer than the MAC Cork lip pencil, but it is so nice if you want more like definition and depth in like the outer corners of your lips. And then as far as liquid lipsticks, I have 3 here. So the Sephora collection liquid lipsticks are another one of those that I feel like I can probably repeat these every single year, just in different shades, because I have so many shades in this collection right here. I would say these are next in line after the NYX Cosmetics Soft Matte as far as how comfortable they feel on your lips. The formula is so nice, not drying, and they last you all day long. I'm surprised not more people talk about these because they're just really good, and the price point is like insane. So I have the shades 66 and 75. I think 66 was the one that I used more this past year, if I'm not mistaken. Let me swatch them next to the next one. So these I would say are a little bit more on the pink side, just depending on what shade you get obviously, but this one of them's more pink, one of them's more of a brown, deeper mauve. So 66 is this one here. They need to dry down, but that's 66, so it's more of a pink. And then this is 75, did I say? Yeah, 75. So 75 is more of a deeper mauve, and these dry down to a completely matte finish. I would also say these are kind of more of a soft matte though, because of how comfortable they are on the lips. And then one that is, I love the shade of this one and also how long lasting they are. The Fenty Beauty Stunna lip paints. This is in the shade Unbutton. With this one, I'm telling you right now, if you've ever tried any of the Stunna lip paints, you know that a little bit goes a long way. The formula is very like liquidy and runny, so you literally have to like wipe down the brush a lot to make sure you don't put too much on your lips. With this one, I would recommend doing a thin layer, because if you do too much at once, it can get a little bit more on the drier side. But I find that if I do just one thin coat, it just looks so nice on the skin. So this one on its own, I wouldn't use it, but with a lip liner like Cork or like the NYX one, something that's a little deeper, I like to go over top with this. So it is this peachy pink right here. Like I said, on its own, I wouldn't use it because it would look like very bright and more like a salmon shade on my skin tone. But with a really nice brown deeper lip pencil, dabbing this over top, the perfect everyday long lasting lip color. And then we're down to the lip glosses, and we'll do the perfumes. Hands down, my favorite glosses this past year were the Pat McGrath glosses. Pat McGrath is just that girl when it comes to a lot of products, just like Charlotte Tilbury. So the lip glosses, I have 3 right here. I have Dare to Bear, I have Flesh Fantasy, which is a newer one to my collection, and then I have Faux Real. Now the last time I checked, I don't know if it's discontinued or what, or maybe they just sell it on the Pat McGrath website. But the shade Faux Real is my favorite shade. However, the last time I checked for it, I couldn't find it on Sephora. So I'm gonna see, you know, if they have it on their website or if they like restocked it on Sephora or something. But the shade is everything. If I had to wear this lip gloss, would I say for the rest of my life? If they took all my lip glosses away, because I feel like that's a big commitment to say like for the rest of my life, but if they took all of my glosses away right now and told me you can only use this for the next year, I'd be like, cool, like, okay, that's fine, because it's so good. It's buttery, it gives you coverage, it's how do you say, it's hydrating, like it's everything in a lip gloss that you want. It's not sticky. Some lip glosses that I wear, sometimes I put them on and they make my lips super dry and have to keep reapplying. This is not that. It is so good. So it's this one right here. The color is the perfect flesh tone nude for my complexion. If I want something that's a little bit lighter and that's gonna make my lips pop a little more, I'll use Dare to Bear because it's lighter. You can see the difference there. And then I have Flesh Fantasy, which is more of a pinky mauve, but you can see Faux Real in the middle is like perfect in my opinion. It is the perfect nude gloss. Last but not least, we will do fragrances because my camera is dying, so perfect timing. I have this one here that is very girly and flirty. It's one of my favorite everyday fragrances, and it is the Lancome Tint Idol. I'm like almost halfway with it. It is so good. I'm gonna spray some right now. It's very girly, feminine, pretty, lightweight, about to go to brunch vibes, or if you're about to go to like a baby shower or a wedding or like a girl's day or just shopping, or it's so good. Kind of has a hint of like floral, and it's just femininity in a bottle. It is just so captivating and pretty and light and powdery. That's like the best way that I can describe it. And it really does give me like spring event type of vibes. If you want something that's a little bit more, that's still girly, but you want to do something a little bit less florally, less powdery, I would do the Giorgio Armani C, because this one has a little bit more of a deeper, sexy hint to it while still being a little girly and sweet. This one I am about halfway through, and I love this one for both day and nighttime. It's like a nice staple to have, especially because I feel like you can use it for day and night. And then one that is like a recent favorite, you guys already know, the Replica by Mason Margiela in By the Fireplace. This was my fall and winter go-to, and I have the smaller bottle and I'm barely like down here with it, but this is masculine, literally like you're in a cabin sitting by the fireplace, but it just smells like everything on the skin. It just vanilla, woodsy, masculine, sexy, just like a winter cozy hug in a bottle. That's the best way that I can describe this. All right, so that is it for my 2021 favorites slash best of beauty, just all of the products that I had on repeat and on rotation throughout the year. You can kind of see a pattern here. I was super into very just natural, pretty lightweight stuff. I can see myself using a lot of these going into 2022. Of course, I will link all of the products, link and list the products and the shades and all of that stuff down below in the description box for you guys. If you made it through to the end, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are enjoying the kickoff to 2022, whether you are being super productive or you're easing into it and taking it slow. Either way, I'm kind of more on the easing into it side, but either way, I hope you guys are having a good new year. Also, let me know below in the comments, what kind of content are y'all trying to see from me in 2022? Let me know. Home content, cleaning content, reset, like morning routines, Sunday resets, like anything, any ideas, even if it's for like TikTok or Instagram, let me know. But thank you guys for tuning in. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in my next video.